Previously on Resident Evil Village.
You're persistent, but I've got a rebellion. So stay out of my way.
Don't come back!
I told you to leave it alone, Ethan. You are in the way. And this job is hard enough without civilians getting in the way. In this village, all these monsters and freaks, this is their life's work. Some sort of crazy experiment with the mold. You take that elevator, I'll meet you topside.
Ethan? I heard explosions. What the hell happened?
I dealt with Heisenberg. Now I'm gonna find Miranda and get Rose back.
Remember Evelyn and her power over the mold? Rose is her successor. Don't worry. Your death will come quick. You will join the Megamycetes records.
Captain, I've confirmed the death of Ethan Winters. I wasn't able to retrieve the body, but I've recorded evidence.
Hello everyone. I'm Darkness and welcome back to Resident Evil Village. Thank you for joining me. You're gonna have to skip ahead a few if you don't want to hear my theories, because it looks like I'm out of time to be able to theorize about anything, no matter if it's here or a live stream. But if you guys haven't been keeping up with day-to-day videos, what's happening with me is that I'm actually playing my first playthrough at the same time. My second playthrough ever of this game has been on my live streams going through Village of Shadows. I got the deluxe edition, so on PS5 I've been recording for you guys on standard, and then right behind it I've been trying to keep up on Village of Shadows my second playthrough on Xbox Series X. That means that I get no benefits of having beaten the game, and I have to just get through it my second time seeing everything, except for it all changed a bit. So I've been saying a few things over on my live streams, and I gotta say it now because the game just confirmed a few things. I don't have time anymore, so I'm gonna try to limit this to about 5 minutes, but I have to get this all out because for those of you who weren't on the live streams or any of that, you might not have heard that I actually had some theories about the game, and it all comes down to two things. The only reason that I actually wouldn't be surprised by anything is because I really do mean, please don't give spoilers or anything in the comments in my live streams if I haven't beaten a game. Today is the 29th. May 29th. I haven't been doing my best, so I didn't get through the series immediately the day it came out, and I really do apologize about that. Sorry, not sorry, because I really wasn't doing my best. But here it goes. During one of the early live streams, I was told that I would understand later why Ethan's different, because I would just I was talking about gluing hands back on and things like that, basically using the green goo and just reattaching limbs. Someone said I'd understand later why Ethan is different. Don't tell me something like that. I'm gonna go off and try to find an answer before the game tells me one. Another thing that was, and the other thing that this all comes from only two pieces of information, and then what the game told me before, way before. The other piece of information was that I saw, and I can't remember if a promotional image or something or trailer, I've seen Ethan without the jacket on. On top of that, in the game, the jacket, after he reattaches his hand, is apparently important enough to Capcom to put stitch marks on the jacket to show that it's reattached. So what does that all mean for somebody like me who way far analyzes games and delves a little too deep? One, it means that, sad to say, some of those things that just happened weren't spoilers. I actually called them in live streams like a week ago and explained it. I think fighting Moreau on Village of Shadows and the thing I fought before Moreau. Not Beneviento, before that, because I was just screaming during that stream. So here it goes. Why is Ethan different? And I have not beaten the game. I have not seen anything else. I went back to the source, and after seeing something like that, my brain was like, figure it out. So I tried, and the source I went back to is Resident Evil 7. And in Resident Evil 7, I didn't realize something that really did escape my attention until somebody mentioned it. I would find out why Ethan is different. Go back and look at the beginning of Resident Evil 7. When he tries to find Mia, when he's attacked by Mia, he doesn't see Evie. Evelyn is invisible to him, but at the end of the game, he can see all the scenes of Evelyn, that Evelyn was actually talking to Mia the entire time, including when he got his hand chopped off. That's really important because, one, we saw Mia take an axe to the neck and survive it. We saw Jack blow off part of his head as showing off. But there's another person that had something else happen to him, and that's a big deal. But the bigger deal is that Ethan got his hand cut off and could not reattach it. He did not. You can heal him, and he will pour it over that stump of a hand, but then he has to work the handgun he finds one-handed. After being hit by Jack, he has staples on his arm to reattach his hand. If you screw up the Jack chase scene in Resident Evil 7, where Jack can get to you before you get under the cross space, he will cut your leg off with his shovel and basically taunt you to put it back on and get away. You can then reattach your own limbs. In this game, you can reattach your limbs as well. That's big because of the one thing that happens right after you see Ethan wake back up after being saying welcome to the family, son, and getting punched in the face by Jack. He's got the staples in his arm to put his arm back on. You do not see the herbal essence, basically Raccoon City's green herbs, fluid, whatever. You do not see that being poured onto that stump, but you do see a monitor on the wrong arm. You can say it's for game purposes of having a convenient way to check health. It's on the wrong arm. If somebody were trying to check your vitals, why would they ever put the watch on the hand that was just cut off? Unless they knew something that you did not. Of all people there, Zoe was the one that honestly should not have known what else that watch could do. Tracking Evelyn like Mia used it for, anything else. She only knows that it can show vital signs. Why was it important to Zoe to put that watch on Ethan? This is when it gets into, I think I'm getting into what could possibly be spoiler territory if I'm right. So really, there's a thing on the bottom of the game, this video that says skip to the gameplay if you don't want to hear this, because I'm about to say what I saw coming and what I think is also coming. The other person that you see that can reattach limbs is Lucas. And Lucas says at the dinner table, not again. When he says not again, it implies that he's had things like his arm cut off multiple times or another limb cut off multiple times. But he can reattach his as well, or regrow it. Really doesn't matter at this point, but most likely reattach. And you see, by the end, he's with the connections. Lucas is part of it. So is Mia, so is Alan. In fact, so is Miranda. And it's actually one of the things we already ran into from one of Chris's setups that shows she's most likely the person that recovered part of the mold that comes from Evelyn. Most likely, but not for sure. It might have been, but she does have it, and that's what's under the city. Evelyn is basically under the city, but not Evelyn, the destabilized version of that mold, because Mia and Alan were the caretakers of it. Why does it matter? Lucas was supposedly cured. However, he could still see Evelyn and trick her. He got the serum. He actually got what basically Mia got that should cure him, but it's not a cure. That's not how fungi necessarily work. And that's not necessarily how a lot of things work. TLDR, he was cured of it, but he could still see Evelyn and use Evelyn's mold to regenerate the lost tissue, basically. And that's important because it is very much regeneration, as we see from Marguerite and Jack. Jacking had blown off Marguerite from just everything that she's growing like tumors. That is mass cellular reproduction. How is it happening? Well, fungi can do that. And on top of that, if you guys didn't know, look up how it's actually called an underground network. If you didn't know how fungi work, or fungi, if mushrooms many times are connected by the root system and share a common bond or common, I wouldn't say consciousness, but their network underground actually lets them know where nutrients are, where to go, and how to get them back and forth between each other. In fact, every fungi that we know of has something of that sort, which could show you how a collective consciousness could work. So that explains Evelyn to a T in that sense. Why do I say telling me that Ethan is different is a spoiler, because I did not realize, it would have caught me by surprise if Ethan was truly different. But ever since that, which is basically since episode 3 or 4 of doing this, since I started playing Village of Shadows, someone told me that. I went back and looked. He started whiting out, not blacking out. Honestly, when you start losing blood, you think you'd lose a lot of things, but there's one or two sensations that happen. One of the common ones is actually your vision going white, not black. It can go both. You can black out and lose, but it's actually going that light white, like you see. And he has to fight with blood loss happening. On top of that, he gets hit, and he can't reattach his own arm. Only after does Zoe find it important to put a heart monitor basically on him. He can't track Evie with it. Why is it? Zoe knows what the mold can do, and the mold can actually bring people back from the brink of death, or in fact, most likely, actual death itself, because Jack was resurrected basically after shooting himself in the head. And he was not resurrected just shooting himself in the head or just by being beaten. He had to be beaten 3 times. Remember, into Zoe, Jack is still alive. Even after getting the serum, he is still alive. Lucas could cut off part of his arm, but he was cured. Ethan is special. He was infected basically at the point of death. How was he infected? I have no idea. Because somewhere in there, you should have gotten a sense for what happened, but Zoe knew somehow, intuitively or by seeing her family get infected, that somehow this infection could actually bring you back from the brink of death, make you regenerate. She even says it in phone calls, you've done better than like anyone else, basically. She says it in Resident Evil 7. Ethan is, for all intents and purposes, able to regenerate somehow, but not be controlled by it, because just like Zoe, he was kind of distant from Evelyn. He couldn't be fully controlled. Mia was under a lot of influence, but under full control for some of it. And the Bakers were, the other two, they were screwed. Until Lucas actually got cured himself. That's to say, point 1. We just saw Ethan die? I don't think so. That was his heart. He can regenerate. He can regenerate just like Jack can. It might take time, but he can regenerate. He wasn't actually just put down. Second, Ethan, this whole time, what's special about him? He never got the serum. We never hear in this game so far that, I could be wrong about this, but what if you have a child between somebody who got the serum, basically has a cured version of Evie inside, or a stabilized version of Evie, and somebody who practically is Evie? Because if Ethan was never cured, and he was infected after the fact, Ethan has been dead this entire time. Or at least when he got infected, he was brought back from death by the actual fungus. That's what actually happened, and why Zoe put the wristband on him. Mia's, for no good reason other than to check to see if it worked. She needed to see, basically, if his vital signs came back and he was back alive from that, how strong they were. It wasn't just for his sake. She had to staple the arm back on. She knew what the mold could do, but she couldn't guarantee it. Therefore, instead of putting it on the right hand, which would make a lot more sense, she put it on the left hand to see not only if it should reattach, but if he lived, that gives him a better idea of what's going on with him. So, that's the first thing I said on the live streams. I don't think Ethan's dead. I think that's what actually makes him special. That I think it would take a lot more to kill him, because it took a hell of a lot to kill Jack. It took a lot to... Mia wouldn't die. And Ethan wasn't technically infected, so I don't exactly know what he is, other than the idea that Lucas was cured after being infected. Ethan was infected possibly at the point of when the body was shutting down or death. Ethan's special because he continued on like normal. That's why he can reattach the limbs. It's the mold doing it to him. He's basically carrying around Evie with him the entire time. Second, that's what makes Rose so special. She is half somebody who had the serum in him and was treated, and half Ethan, who was never treated and basically is a walking, talking version of Evie. Now, why do I say walking, talking version of Evie? Look at how the fungus, that Evelyn, all the strains that they made of that. I can't pronounce that M word, site. I know I need to practice saying it. Go look at actually the documentation for Resident Evil 7. It is taking over the bodies of those who it's infecting, it's taking over Ethan's body. That's why he can also do that. It's taking over the villagers and giving them a collective consciousness, I think, along with the Cadeau. I don't know how the Cadeau play into this, but my other theory for the Cadeau was basically Umbrella might have visited the village as the basis of finding out, or Neo Umbrella, basically after Umbrella dispersed, they might have come back later while they're still under Wesker, but then turned into Connection somewhere in there and figured out Las Plagas. This might be the beginning of that, but that's still just another theory of mine. So I said I'd keep it at 5 minutes, so I'll throw that out the window. So, there we go. We got Ethan covered on that. How can you put back on limbs? We got why Rose is now special, because she is actually a stable version of Evelyn. Meaning she's got all of Evelyn's power. I mean, we had Heisenberg saying you don't know how powerful your child is. She's a stable version of Evelyn. What I forgot to also mention is that basically from then on out, Ethan could see Evelyn after he has the hand reattached, but he couldn't see before. And also, the first thing they show you is Evelyn right next to him on in the wheelchair. Something that I think everyone is able to see, but Evelyn's projection is actually what is showing you how much she's taking over. How she could project instead of being in the wheelchair. She is actually a child. But when she became destabilized and started regurgitating all of and making new friends, as she will, she also aged really rapidly when she wasn't kept under control by Mia. So, the second thing that I can tell you for sure, I knew Mia, that wasn't Mia that they killed at the beginning. I said, no matter if you're talking about paramilitary or actual military, doesn't matter what, there made no freaking sense to say eliminate the target and extract our EW and RW without just saying, you know, eliminate MW. TMDA, too many damn acronyms in the military or paramilitary. It really doesn't matter where you go. If you use acronyms in one place, why all of a sudden not use acronyms in another? Again, this is something I said weeks ago, it feels like. It might have actually been weeks ago. That I knew that wasn't Mia that was being shot, because I pointed out why she into local lore so much when they're talking about moving around so damn fast. And how can she cook local cuisine so quickly when they're moving around so much, apparently on the run from the connections? Chris is overlooking him, and why would Chris actively gun down Mia, knowing that that's what he's been protecting? Mia's a valuable specimen in person to them. Mia would actually be under the protection. They would want nothing else but to keep Mia alive, just in case they need to analyze her for possibilities of making sure this thing stays contained. One last note, you notice that people who weren't infected before death pretty much just get killed by the molded. So what do I mean by that? Remember when Mia is infected? She's kept alive, but she's actually being actively infected as she goes to try to fight Evelyn. She's getting an active infection while trying to face her down. And I say this because she gets infected, but Alan is the one by proxy that gets her infected. Alan is not. They are actually handling the fungus. Alan can't see Evie. Alan says some things he shouldn't say, and he starts swaying his head back and forth, saying, I didn't mean it, no, no, no. He starts panicking because he knows what Evelyn can do, but he can't actually see all of her projections. He's not infected. When he gets infected, Evelyn goes ahead and infects Mia. That's when she gets infected. That's why she can live. Again, another case of somebody getting dumped into the ocean, winding up on shore. They're not dying in circumstances they should die in when everyone else died. Anyone else basically is taken over. Evelyn makes the choice. Basically, she infects you, or she just straight up kills you and makes you into one of her little friends. However, it seems Ethan is an exception to this. Somewhere along the line, he was infected, either to be part of the family, which it sounds like by all the dialogue, to be part of the family. He was infected and brought back from the brink, or from death itself. Which means that also, did I mention that Miranda's part of the connections? Yeah, that's a big theory that I've been tossing around in live streams. Miranda has actually been probably one of the scientists, one of the ones probably trying to track down. That's why she switched places with Mia. I was tossing that one around also. Last, a lot of the theories I've been having all revolve around that damn jacket. That I hate it jacket, because when he loses his hand to Dimitrescu, that part of his sleeve from his jacket should have fallen off. I don't care what you can tell me about necessarily how muscles work. I can tell you tendons and ligaments, as soon as they're snapped right here, they should have shot back up in his arm. There should have been no tensile strength in him, and he should have released that lever. But he didn't. Well, that's a whole different conversation. Call it whatever you want to. That's not what I'm concerned about. They have been in Capcom's everything. They've always been concerned about clothing. Go look at Resident Evil 2 Remake. Leon's clothing changes because of him getting shot. His jacket goes away and he turns into police uniform when he goes and gets dressed. Claire loses her jacket, and they make a big point of showing you that Chris has a matching jacket also. Jackets actually mean a lot in this game. That's actually the same case for when you see the progression through Resident Evil 3 Remake. It's actually the same case when you see it through Resident Evil 7. Clothing does change. Guess who it doesn't change on? People whose clothing it doesn't have to change on because it actually has a meaning to it, like Lucas. He is different. When he shows back up with Mia, his sweater, the one he's been using, they don't bother to show you that it was cut in half. There's no point to losing a shirt like Jack did, to having clothing ripped up and everything like Marguerite did, to showing you that there's any transformation, anything. There's no point because it can come back. In Resident Evil 2, Claire wraps her jacket around Sherry as comfort before the final fight. In Resident Evil 2 also, you see Ada putting the trench coat over Leon as comfort. Jackets mean something to Capcom in not only this franchise, but other franchises. What does that mean? That's why you see the stitch marks. And that's why that image is actually a spoiler to me. That one daggum image between telling me that I will find out later why Ethan can regenerate, and by telling me or showing me any image that has Ethan without the jacket, it let me down that rabbit hole to where this game could have blindsided me with both those all of these things I could have been blindsided. Why am I saying the jacket's important? If it's so important to Capcom, where does the jacket go? Why did I ever see an image of Ethan without a jacket? And I'm telling you, I saw it as promotional, I believe, material, but it was there, and that was spoiler enough for me. Why is he jacketless? I can tell you one of two reasons why. Either he's not wearing it before the game starts, or he's not wearing it by the time the game ends. If you're following my train of thought, that means one of two things. He's wearing it when the game starts, so it's not that. And it's not, I realize it's not just aesthetics. I was wondering why they put the jacket. My first theory on that quickly was the idea that maybe it was to cover up his original scar and not show you like if it healed or anything. I've got to throw that one out the window now because I didn't notice until recently in a live stream he is actually wearing an undershirt, a long sleeve undershirt under that. So the jacket actually is not needed to cover it up. It's the undershirt that's needed to cover up what's there. So what is important about the jacket? It's going to be one of the other two categories. It's going to be the comfort, or it's going to be because that's where it splits in and I don't actually know where it goes. If it's comfort, most likely it is. What is it comforting from? And who is it comforting to? If he wraps up his daughter in it, makes total sense. Because there's a third thing, I know why his daughter can live. So if he wraps up his daughter in it, makes sense. If he wraps up, like, finds Mia, gets her, wraps her up in it, makes sense. Again, I just told you, I know Ethan's not actually dead. I don't think he can die. He's actually been taken over. If you look at more of the documentation, the molded actually slowly takes over the host. His body has been infected. That was his heart you saw come out. Guess what's going to replace it? Rapid cellular regeneration by the mold to replace a heart. It will happen. He is going to be back alive. Ethan's not dead. He can't die. Not yet, at least. Because the other reason would be he loses a jacket because there would be a better reason for him to lose a jacket. He loses his life. Could he lose a jacket to comfort and life? I don't know. Could he lose his jacket because of it's something else dramatic and then he comes back without a jacket? I don't know. But jackets are important. He has it. He lost it. Why is Rosemary so important? I already mentioned it. She's a stabilized version, basically, of Evelyn. She gets all the benefits without any of the drawbacks. She's human, but she's not human. If Ethan helped create her, which he did, after he was infected, which he was, it means that she's had Evelyn in her the entire time. The E strain of that fungus, of that mutamycete. So Rosemary also cannot die so easily. Even being broke up in several parts, we saw that already happen. Jack Baker, everyone who died in Resident Evil 7 that was infected, that was like a big boss, something like that, crystallized. In a crystallized form, they broke apart. While Marguerite died from it. Jack was given the serum, and when he broke apart, he came back. He was able to come back, and Joe has to beat the crap out of him, fisticuffs. No joke, that's a big deal. That means that somebody infected can be basically put in some type of stasis and reassembled later. But Jack did it by proxy of random circumstances. This is a child that is birthed between someone who has the serum in them and someone who's basically made up of molded parts that their normal body is made up. Where else is that mentioned? The very beginning of the game. The beginning of the game gives away this game's hand pretty heavy-handedly if you're paying attention, and also if people have ruined things for you. By mentioning, you'll know why Ethan is different, and by you ever seeing a teaser of like Ethan without a jacket. Look at the beginning again. She gets mad that she gets outed, that yeah, my memory is just fine. Yeah, she wasn't there at the Baker estate in Dulvey, Louisiana. She might have gotten reports about it from Lucas. She wasn't there. But in a flashback, Mia was upset about it, and they were getting results about Rosemary. Those results would have been able to tip off anybody from the connections that could find it what Rosemary actually is, which would allow Miranda to go after it. The only thing that I don't have a theory for is the Cadeau, other than it might be the predecessor to Las Plagas, which showed up in Resident Evil 4. What does this game most resemble when you combine two games? Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 3.5, basically. Why didn't I say Resident Evil 7? Guess where the molded come from? The Hookman version of Resident Evil 4. The predecessor, when it's like basically Leon tripping, there's two different worlds he goes between, and some shadow creatures come to attack him over and over. That was the inspiration for the molded in Resident Evil 7 once they remade the game instead of making it into Resident Evil 6, but 6 here. When they decided to scrap in 2013 the original Resident Evil 7 and made the one that we got first person, that's when that happened. So, is that enough babbling? I said it 5 minutes. It didn't say, gosh, it didn't say anywhere near to 5 minutes. These are all predictions before I hit the end of the game. So I want you to know, this is just how I think. This is how I go through games. This is how I kind of take notes. And in general, this is where you might see that if I have... This game has now intrigued me enough that I want to take a lot of notes of being able to get through the game pretty easily so that I can catch everything the game has to offer. Because I have a feeling that this trilogy, and yes, this is a trilogy of games, 7, 8, and 9. 7 did something creative and got you out of the bogged down lore bits of the story. 8 is reintroducing that by showing you Umbrella was at the village at some point, and the connections are at the village through Miranda. Miranda's actually infecting people. You see that there is documents about like even Dimitrescu being infected with the Cadeau, which seems to be the thing that gives him the superhuman strength. But also the Cadeau experiments, by Heisenberg's own admission and by Moreau's own admission, were conducted on all the people in the city who the molded are growing under and are being infected by the Cadeau. Also, Moreau says he injected a little bit of wolf's blood in there. Bam, you got a lichen. So these aren't werewolves. They are Cadeau infected, molded infected, werewolf, wolf blood infected people. They're still people. They're not true werewolves. Capcom did actually stick more to science. The only thing I cannot explain, really and truly, is the ending. Why Ethan didn't catch this, why Mia hasn't said anything, but she did start saying something in the very beginning of the game. Mia said she's concerned about the family, she's concerned about Ethan. And Ethan says, what do you mean by that? Is there something you're not telling me? And then he gets a call from work and says, I have to take it. Mia walked out. Mia was about to tell him that he is still infected and he is a walking version of Evie? I don't know where that leads. It means he probably died or was brought back from the brink of death by Evie back in Resident Evil 7. When Jack welcomes him to the family, he might literally be welcoming him to the family at that moment by killing him and infecting him at the exact same time. I mean, he literally did say, welcome to the family, son. And also, Ethan was whiting out and not putting things back onto himself. So, all of this really matters. Really matters. I just want to lay it out there. These are all things I've thought before I've seen anything. I've seen the end of the game. My biggest prediction is basically that the lore bombs for this are dropped by Miranda, who should know, except she should not know about Ethan. You see Miranda, and this is something that I couldn't confirm before I just made this video, but now that I played through the factory, I can say that my prediction changed from if you go back and watch the live streams. I said either Mia or Miranda will confirm about Ethan and Ethan being special. Heisenberg seemed to be the only one on the up and up, seeing that how special Ethan was. Even Chris doesn't seem to be on the up and up. It would have been Miranda part of the connections or Mia part of the connections. It's gonna be Mia. Miranda just thought she killed him by ripping his heart out. He's not dead. In fact, he lived a little too long listening to Miranda's dialogue. And this isn't Call of Duty where we just watch main characters die from their point of view for no reason like that. We've seen that in the demos, in the main games, not so much. We've seen that with Clancy. We knew Clancy was dead before the game started. So, how much of the game can I get through with the time I have left? I hope everyone now understands why even the smallest little bits of telling me anything in the comments, of showing me images, can actually ruin a game for me, because I can just suss out a little too much, and it's sometimes a little upsetting, but I gotta get over it. Medicine that fully injects... I'm sorry? Med injector. Medicine that fully heals all wounds. Is that the... I can't remember what it's called. It's the syringe that actually has a little package that expand for bullet wounds and everything. We actually use it on the field now in Battlefield. Okay, anyway. Mid-size semi-automatic. I gotta examine this because he is actually putting... He is not using a... Thank God. Just get away from that. That actually looks like a CZ, but who am I to say anything about that? With it, what do we got over here? We got a Kalashnikov AK-74, so that works out for him. And target locator, a laser targeting device, and karambit. I love those knives. Yeah, cool. Hopefully he knows how to use it correctly, because what do we have as unable to use? What is that last thing? Target locator? Let me use a shortcut and... No, actually, let me just equip that. Karambit? Alright. I'll accept that. Let's do this. I'll get through as much as I can. This recording might be broken up into two, so sorry about that.
Hey, Alpha. Look at this.
Oh, God.
The SAA. They've gone too far. Christ.
Looks pretty rough down there. How are you planning on reaching the objective?
First, we're gonna have to take that thing out.
I've got your back, boss. Let's get to work.
Everyone watch for hostile bioweapons.
I am extremely pleased that they actually brought in Resident Evil 6 and 7 into this. 6's storyline... No, I mean 5 storyline, not 6. That they brought in 5 of him still being in command of a unit. That him taking command back, and also 7 of him being part of Blue Umbrella and the BSAA. I guess he's working under Blue Umbrella.
Contact with a group of hostile bioweapons.
There's more than we thought. Watch it.
Do they drop anything? No. That tells me that possibly this is exactly... For those that aren't paying attention to what I've been saying, that tells me that this is a temporary section because no money is there, or it's the very end of the game. It's a temporary section, probably.
Western route is clear. Moving out.
Roger.
Why is he saying though that his own, like, what should be backup from have gone too far? This is probably supposed to be.
Craft spotted. 2 guards. I could take him.
Don't get cocky.
Why would he take his own out? Oh, wait. A small operation being ruined by a large-scale invasion equals you just ruined your chance at stealth. Got it. Got it.
What the hell is that thing? It's all new to my seat.
That's probably where Miranda is. Let's go.
Me to my seat. There we go. Oh, God. No, thank you. Oh, shoot. In fact, actually, oh, shoot, indeed. I apologize. That quick little cut was because I had real life outside of the office come up. I went and did that. Oh, God. Okay. Well, Miranda, you've gone a little far with your Mutamycete. I'm gonna try to remember to pronounce it that way. Oh, God, where? No.
Maybe releasing infectious particulates. Keep your masks on.
Oh. The mold is Oh, they just confirmed that! The mold.
See the BSAA going so
They had eyes on Miranda, too. Probably felt they needed to intervene.
The mold is releasing them to protect. Oh, they just confirmed that.
Path's blocked.
No worries. Detour around the village.
So, okay, Chris must be working for the BSAA and Blue Umbrella, and BSAA wasn't involved.
Hey, boss, it's me. I'm at the location preparing for support fire. Might be a minute.
Roger.
Tundra here. Leaving some supplies in one of the houses, Captain. Help yourself.
So I think I'm starting to get it. I think I'm getting the idea. Oh, God. Oh, that scared me a little bit. Okay. So this must be a Blue Umbrella operation, or a BSA smaller scale investigation where he was in charge of it and they got involved too early. Now they're getting their butts kicked to them because they don't have the intel that Chris has, which that's. Oh, I can just let it rip with this, with how much ammunition they're giving me, because they showed me where the ammunition is.
200 to the point.
Oh, God, how am I gonna do this in Village of Shadows? I just realized what's happening, and boy, howdy. Left supplies in a house, huh? In a house, you say? As in, if I go in somewhere, I get extra stuff? Gotta try to figure that out real fast. All of that matters.
I've never heard of a Mutamycete colony growing so huge.
They know of the Mutamycete colonies growing at all? Well, I mean, they've dealt with it since 2017. This is 2021 that the game's taking place in, so I guess it's possible? Oh, Chris for days, son. Didn't expect that. Oh, yeah, okay. Alright, I can work with that. Oh, I see I see the green. Yeah, I'm not gonna really run it. I'm not. I'm gonna bite my tongue out of this. Okay. And the price for those supplies. The price for those supplies was getting cornered a bit. Okay, I could be using this. It's not fully automatic though. And okay. Alright, alright. Whoa. Alright. I gotta push forward. This is not a stand your ground moment. It looks like they keep coming way too much. I gotta get through them. Nope. jeezums. Holy crap. Oh god. Oh god. He gave it the fist. Which again, it makes me so much appreciate Heisenberg calling back to Resident Evil 5, you boulder punching freak. Boulder punching freak? Apparently he's well known.
If my mom saw this shit, she thinks she died and gone to die.
Okay. I thought I saw more supply.
I've reached the target location. Damn, this is big. All right, Lovo. Marking the target.
Roger that, boss. Bingo! All right.
Wow.
Reloading now. Just a minute. There's a swarm headed that way.
Okay. And there's a grenade heading out. Alright, hope that cleared things up.
Reloading. Leave it just soon. Okay,
No.
I've reloaded. Ready when you are.
No.
This rapidly expanding. There must be something stimulating.
Come on.
PSA guys are engaging the biohazard. Captain, they're it's about to collapse. Hold your horses. I'm reloading. Is that what you're reloading?
I'm trying. Oh. Okay. This is when I see there's a red barrel. I come in here and grab all this. And I realize, please, yes. Please. Oh god. Oh god.
They're coming from the mold.
Oh god.
Damn it, these things are using weapons. Sure they're thinking the same about you. Takes a minute to target the point. Try and keep the laser on it as long as you can.
Bioweapon levels are increasing.
Take that!
Good. Megamycete must be below.
Oh jeezums. That is ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
I found a way down. I'm going in. The rest of you stay back.
Captain, I compared the mold at the village with a sample from the bakers, and there's no sign of the genome editing we saw in the E-series. The stuff originated here.
Wait, what? It wasn't recovered, it was recreated? Is that why it was only 99.95% the same? It wasn't recovered from the Baker household, it was recreated by Miranda? Is that what I'm led to believe by that statement? Don't answer that for me, but it sure does feel that way. Yeah, I'm gonna need all these things. I'm gonna need to be also a better gamer before I try this on Village of Shadows, because this will wreck me. To give me all the ammunition right now, but I'm assuming that won't be a thing that I'll be able to rely on. Not that much. Okay. No. What even is that? You know it's bad when you have to go later look up what the heck those things are even called sometimes. And you know you have to because you're just like, I don't know what this is.
guarding the Mega Mycete, huh?
Whoa.
Lobo, I got a tough guy here. I'm gonna need backup.
Boss, you're on the ground.
There's an opening in the roof. Use it!
Okay, I'm moving out. Hold until I get there.
How am I supposed to hold out? It must be the stuff on his back. Yep, I gotta get to that. His leg. My instincts could be worse.
Good. I'll signal with the locator.
Give a guy a break.
Nice. Thought so.
Reloading out. Just a minute.
Or can I do that? Alright.
Okay, Captain. I'm reloading. Wait till you.
Oh god. Oh, I hit quick turn. Of all times. Okay. Might not have been the wisest move. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, for the love of God, you gotta be supremely difficult when you're on a harder difficulty, aren't you?
Hold your horses.
Hostile bioweapon.
Where should I point next?
Whoa. That's all?
I'll keep going. The rest of you, stay above ground.
Wait. No. I can... No. No. No, but that defeats my thing of thinking that Ethan might be a... No, I'm gonna stick by what I said earlier. If he can collect valuables, but he can maybe act with the merchant, but no.
So if Miranda was the fake Mia, where's the real one? I doubt she saw any further use for her. I don't get any of this.
Oh.
How did Miranda even know Rose exists?
A moldy little bird told her, maybe?
We can figure that out later. Focus on the plan.
The doctor is how? Oh.
I found it. It's the Mega Mycete.
Oh, it's the symbol of everything. Oh my god.
Alpha to squad. I've located the Mega Mycete.
So now we can end this mess after all.
About damn time. N2 explosives armed. There's enough there to blow the whole village sky high.
Let's get out of here and blow the damn place.
Not before I end Miranda. I'm not taking any more chances. I'm going in.
Roger that. Standing by. Captain, I have eyes on Miranda at the ceremony site.
Keep your distance. Do not move until I give the order.
I know it's too late now, but we really should have told Ethan the plan.
There wasn't time. We didn't expect Miranda to act so soon.
Even so, you should have told him.
Yeah.
So Mia was abducted. I always assumed that it was an... Oh, that would make so much more sense.
This must be Miranda's lab.
As soon as she got the results, most likely. Subject, Moreau. Cadeau affinity low. Brain function surprisingly low. The Cadeau has caused drastic changes to internal organs, transforming them into organs similar to fish-like gills and swim bladder. Another subject with irregular cell division, causing him to transform into a giant fish. The subject is unable to control this transformation. Too many defects. An unfit vessel for Ava. Well, that must be a child's name. Oh, we get to learn about everyone. Alcina Domitrescu. Cadeau affinity, most favorable. Brain function is normal. Regeneration rate is incredibly fast. The subject can heal any external wound within seconds and grow her nails into claws in mere moments. Rapid regeneration also means an increased body size. That would make sense. Also, that would note, due to a hereditary blood disease, the subject must ingest human flesh and blood on a regular basis to maintain regeneration properties. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. You guys will all correct me. That's hereditary blood disease where people were thought to have vampirism because there's low iron in the blood, so they were anemic. But there's something else about the blood that people would actually feel better when they drank blood. What is that? I can't remember what it is. So there. She's anemic and something else that people thought were vampires, blah, 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 whatever. Let's go. I suspect that if the subject's regeneration is not properly balanced, she may mutate uncontrollably. An unfit vessel for Ava. They really are just supposed to be fit vessels for Ava. But that also means her regeneration might be... She might not be dead. I got her torso, though. She might be the only one that could have survived what I did. All right, let's see. Carl Heisenberg. Cadeau affinity, incredibly favorable, brain function normal. Has electric organs similar to the electric ray, narc japonica. These electric organs are connected to the subject's nervous system. Can therefore pass and control electricity throughout the entire body, allowing control of magnetic fields, which is used to move metal. Splendid specimen, but still an unfit vessel for Ava. We're really going the Blanca route for him having electricity and then translating that into magneto metal and saying a composite basically of a polymer and metal means that he can't control a tank type deal when he totally could if he's controlling magnetic fields. Technically, you're not even we're not get Faraday cage out of the explanation. I was about to say that one. No. No, there's nothing that... There's no reason why he couldn't have controlled basically the chainsaw that was on the end then. If that's what he's doing, can pass and control it. Okay. I can pseudoscience, I can accept it. But because Heisenberg, I did want an explanation for that. All right. Oops. And open. Okay. Donna Beneviento. Cadeau affinity favorable, brain function normal, although severe mental illness. Physically, she is no different from a regular human. However, she can secrete a signal-producing substance which controls plants infected by the mutamycete. I just need to break it up in 3 chunks. Mutamycete. When humans absorb the pollen from a particular flower, she can cause them to have hallucinations. That would explain a lot. However, she is mentally underdeveloped and has divided her Cadeau among her dolls in order to control them from a distance. So the Cadeau is the thing that binds them all, and then the mutamycete is like the neural network. So it is a combination of the two, and low affinity must just be a thing that most guys have, I guess, because he experimented with guys a lot. Both Moreau, Heisenberg, and it looks like Miranda all experimented with that. So, I found the giant...
Using this to control the bioweapons.
Yeah. So, it is really like Las Plagas. It really, really is. Alright, so this is the growth of it. Bleh. That must be Miranda. This is Miranda with Ava. Or Eva. Whatever you want to call it. With Evelyn. No, not that. That must be Miranda before. It's gotta be. It's gotta be. Wait, what? I'm sorry. They experimented on her daughter? Wait, what? No, that can't... They must be experimenting on others to see if the daughter would work. That can't be experimenting on daughter. Okay. Okay, dear Miranda, my deepest apologies for not meeting you in person. I would love nothing more than to visit your quaint village once more. However, I am incredibly busy. Then again, I suppose for an immortal woman such as yourself, you no longer remember this poor half-dead medical student in the snow. I have always cherished the revelations I came to 15 years ago when I stayed in your village. I was inspired by your research. To think one could transform a human by infecting them with an organism. Positively visionary. 15 years ago. When did okay, when 2021, 2011, wow. That puts it a year before Las Plagas. No, a year after. Which one is it? Was it 2004 that Leon went for Las Plagas? Or 2006? That is the deal. That's the make or break right there. That's the make or break. If it's, oh God. I was inspired by your research to think, okay, I knew that with the knowledge I could achieve my own vision for the next step in human evolution. Even after 2 world wars and humanity on the cusp of another, my conviction never wavered. I realized, however, though, that through many nights of intellectual talks you and I shared, that your conviction differed from mine. You hope to bring back a single dead person, while I aim to change the world. Is this Sadler? Your experience on the mold would not have aided me in my endeavor to achieve an exponential infection. I thought a virus would be more effective. This is why, my dear, I have to leave you. I still regret never telling you goodbye. Spencer! It's Spencer! Spencer is the really bringing back Spencer? My apologies for reminiscing. I actually have news that I thought... So the 15... Oh my God. This is not a dated letter. 15 years ago when I stayed in your village, that doesn't make him old. Poor half-dead medical student. That doesn't mean that this was 15 years ago. It means just he wrote this letter 15 years prior to sending it. Like, or he was 15 years prior to sending this letter, he stayed in the village. This, I think, is the beginning of Las Plagas. I think it really is. Something, how this is connected to Las Plagas. Your experience on the mold would not have aided me in my endeavor to... Okay. My apologies for reminiscing. I actually have news that I thought might please you. I found a key to evolution. The progenitor was found way before anything from Resident Evil 4. This dates it back before Resident Evil 4. For sure. Holy crap. That is not Neo Umbrella. That is real, actual Umbrella that did this. The progenitor of virus found in Africa. I plan to start a company with friends and colleagues dedicated to the virus's research. I will call it Umbrella, just like the symbol in the cave that we spoke about. Oh my God. They are really taking it back. This is all, yes. I'm one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break, to making my vision a reality. I hope you will be able to achieve your goal someday too. You taught me so much, and for that, I will be forever in your debt. Sincerely, your lifelong student, Oswald E. Spencer. With the friends and colleagues, yeah, you killed your other 2 colleagues, Birkin and Mr. I'm made of leeches.
Spencer, here. No way.
So who took this research and turned it into Las Plagas? This research totally led... Wait, she started the molded with the connections. Is her? She started the connections? No, it's someone else. Okay, so Miranda is with the connections. Spencer was with Umbrella. Somewhere in between that, Las Plagas was also created. I'm trying really hard. That's Evelyn. Did she experiment on Evelyn? Did she experiment on Evie? My Ava. Wait. Was Ava as in Evelyn? Is that the... No, don't tell me. It's been 100 years since I lost you to the Spanish flu. Holy shit. E-strain. It might be. That looks like Evelyn. It's been 100 years since I lost you to the Spanish flu. I was so powerless back then. But now I can bring you back to life from the Megamycete. I had to test your new vessel's regenerative abilities. I took her apart and revived her in the Megamycete regulator, the Giant's Chalice. All that's left is to merge her with the Megamycete. The ceremony can finally begin. After I lost you, I was so stricken with grief that I wandered into a cave to die. So I wanted to be with you again, and that's when I found it. The Megamycete, completely by accident. When I touched the black substance, my mind was overcome with knowledge. It's an underground internet. Look that up. It's called the underground internet. The Megamycete breaks down and absorbs the consciousness of those who have perished. Only those who have perished. It makes family members of everyone else. Okay, okay. I knew that if your consciousness was in there too, then there would be a way to bring you back. I just need the right vessel. Who's to say her consciousness is in there? It's the Spanish flu. When I returned to the village, I implanted the villagers with the mold from the Megamycete. That way I could control them, experiment on them. I've experimented on hundreds of people just to find you the perfect vessel. I even tried to increase the efficiency of finding a vessel by creating a parasite I call the Cadeau. Yet none of my experiments came to fruition. She created a parasite. There were some, like Alcina, who were close to being perfect, but most turned into lichens. I am brain farting even on my own theories because I can't believe whoa. I was once approached by an organization who said they would assist me. I gave them some of the mold and your DNA. She gave the connections the mold. But all they created was another defect, Evelyn. Then again, not a complete failure. I learned of Rose thanks to them, and I knew she would be a perfect vessel. There was some interference, but I was able to verify her suitability. Now my research is finally complete. Eva, I have waited too long to see you again. I don't remember how to pronounce it. So, Evie is the DNA and everything. That's why they look the same. That's why Evie would look like her daughter, because she handed over DNA. All the pictures are the connections. That is her with the connections. Look. That's Mia. That's Evie. So, wait. That guy next to Mia, why does he look so damn familiar? Because there's Alan. So I see Miranda. I see Mia. I see Evie. Why does he look familiar? That's gotta be Miranda. So that's her working with the connections, yeah. So she became a scientist for the connections, but she's immortal already. So she's been alive for a long time studying all this. Oh, that must be the actual child. So that's her before all this. Everything else she just took a picture of was possibly her working with the connections and seeing Evelyn. Oh god. Okay, some of the things I said at the beginning of this video might have just gone out the window, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. My brain hurts. Oh god. Mia!
Show me your hands! Umbrise, this is Alpha. Where is Miranda right now?
Still at the ceremony site. Whatever she's doing, she's staying put.
God damn. It really is you. I'm glad you're safe, Mia. Why are you here?
I was caught in Houston experiments.
Wait, did you say Mia? Mia Winters?
In the flesh. What's the situation up there?
Kind of a war going on. Nothing we can't handle.
Don't get distracted. Stick to the mission. I'm headed to the ceremony site.
Wait! You can't leave me here. You promised, damn it! You said that you would keep us safe. We did everything that you asked. We moved over here, everything! And I didn't care. So long as we were together. So you tell me, where is my husband? Where is my daughter?
Ethan is... he's gone. I couldn't save him. But I can save Rose. Come on. It's not safe here after all.
What do you mean he's gone?
He's dead. I'm sorry, Mia, but we have to leave. We have to destroy this village.
No! You're wrong. I tried to keep this a secret, but... you don't understand how special he is.
What's going on? Someone there? It's cold.
Holy shit. I'll pick it up in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. I'm just gonna wait to the game for the I'm finished with theorizing because, okay, some things I got right, some things I got dead wrong. Oswald E. Spencer, but way before the symbol from Umbrella coming from this village. Him finding Progenitor after this, which means before the events of the original Resident Evil. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It can't be. I have to relook at my whole damn timeline. Are you kidding me? Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you back here for the next one, which might be the final one, because I might just play this through to the end really, really soon. Bye.